Hello and welcome to section 3.8, Unions and Intersections of Sets. We will start today with another word problem. 50 Legacy Middle School male students were surveyed and were asked what behaviors they like from females. Students were allowed to choose more than one option. 25 males said they like girls that burp. 26 said they like girls that fart. I can't make this stuff up, guys. 17 said they like girls with scary voices. 11 said that they like farts, burps, and scary voices. So they like all three. 7 like only burps and farts. 2 said they like only scary voices and farts. 3 said they like only scary voices and burps. How many students said that they did not like any of these behaviors? Which one might say those are the normal people. But, again, this is the survey from Legacy Middle School. Now, take a second to set up your notes. Today is the 4th, but you may write whatever date you actually take these notes on. We're still talking to inequalities and equations, but today we're going to talk about the union and intersections of sets. So we're going to look at the problem that we looked at before. One way you can solve this is with a Venn diagram. This Venn diagram has 3 circles with the 3 categories of things that male students at Legacy Middle School like. So I have a circle for scary voices, a circle for farts, and a circle for burps. Now, a good way to solve this problem is kind of look at what is the most specific thing. And I see that 11 people like farts, burps, and scary voices. So they liked all 3. So what I would do to start this problem is start in the middle and add my 11. And the reason we're doing this is because where these circles have in common is kind of like the intersection of the sets. And they have what both sets have in common. So in other words, all 3 sets right now have those 11 students in common because that student chose all 3 of those things. Alright, so that goes in the very middle where they're all kind of that shared in the center of the circle. 7 students said they like only, by the way, I'm here in the problem. So 7 students like only burps and farts. Right there. So what I do is I'm looking between burps and farts and in that space, and they said 7 students like only burps and farts, meaning they didn't also choose scary voices. So they're not included in this 11. Let's see. 2 students like scary voices and farts right here. So I'm going to put that in the common area. There's 2. The last one, 3 like only scary voices and burps, so that goes there. Now, you may be wondering why I did the inner part first. Well, that's because we don't want to double count any of these votes. Remember, in the very beginning of the problem, it says 50 Legacy Middle School students were surveyed. So if you could look in the first part, 25 males said they like girls that burp. 26 said they like girls that fart. Already, 26 plus 25 is more than 50. And we know that only 50 people were surveyed. So they were just allowed to choose more than one option. And we don't want to double count. So, for instance, if I were to put 25 males said they like girls that burp. Okay? So I could put a 25 here, but realizing I don't want to double count this and this, I'm going to have to subtract. So you might need an eraser for this problem. Or just cross things out. We know that this circle is going to total 25. So what that means is I take my 3 and my 7, add them up to get 10, plus 11 I have 21. Now 21 is not a total of 25, and it does say that 25 males, sorry about that, need my pencil tool, 25 males said they like girls that burp. So this has a total 25. So 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 11 is 21. We need to add 4 here that only like girls that burp. They specifically said they just like girls that burp. So now let's look at this other circle. 26. That's a bad underline. 26, they said they like girls that fart. Well, in the circle so far, I have a 7, a 2, and 11. So I'm going to add those up. 7 plus 2 is 9. plus 11 is 20. And I need to add that to 26, so I'm going to put a 6 here. Alright, and then the last part, 17, said they like girls with scary voices, and so far we have 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 11 is 16, that means there's one more. For a total of 17 in the scary voices circle, 26 in the fart circle, and 25 in the burp circle. Alright, so everyone's all been accounting, no one's double counted. And what I'm going to do is add all of these up, and if I do that, I get 34 total. Well, why is that important? Well, look at what we're asking for. It says 50 students were surveyed, and they were asked what behaviors they like from females. But the final question is asking how many students said they do not like any of these behaviors. Well, if there are 50 surveyed, and 34 said that voted for these particular things, that means the difference, or if we subtract, figure out how many didn't say anything. 50 minus 34 gives us our answer of 16. We see in this next slide that we have all the numbers kind of filled in here, but I wanted to talk about how this relates to what we learned before with regard to the union and intersection. Well, if we were talking about the union of, remember union is like combining of the sets. So if you had to combine these two sets, like say scary voices and farts, we'd be putting them both together, add up all those numbers. Versus if we were talking about the intersection of these two sets, the intersection is what they have in common. So between burps and farts, what they have in common is not just the 7, but 7 plus 11. So we would add up 7 and 11 and get their intersection. So take that back to what we learned before and put it together with a Venn diagram, and you get kind of a better idea of how this all fits together. Now I'm going to let you guys try this. Kind of let you go back and look at what we did before, and we're going to find union and intersection of sets. I think the only difference here is that we have more than one sets combined. So X is going to be the set of 5, 6, 7, and 8. Y is going to be the set of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Z is going to be the set of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And for the first one, I want you to find the union of X and Y and Z. And then we're going to find the intersection of X, Y, and Z in the second problem. Okay, hit pause, just listen to me, just do it, and we'll try to come back with an explanation. You guys give it a try first, I'll explain it next. But hit pause, because I'm not going to do it unless you hit pause. You didn't really hit pause, did you? So just do it, hit pause. Alright, I'm back. Well, again, if we can kind of take this in parts if we want, but we want to find what X, Y, and Z for the first problem they would be if you combine them all together. Now, obviously, we're not going to be writing things that you don't want to double write. So I'm going to include this, start the set off. So with X and Y, the lowest number I see is a 2. And then in Z, we have a 3. And then we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Finally, we have a 10. So that's the union of those three sets. Now for the intersection, it's what they all have in common. You could take in parts to X and Y and then see what that has in common with Z. Really what we're looking for, what they all would have. And if I'm looking at this, I see 6, 6, 6, so they all have 6 in common. They don't all have a 5 in common. They don't all have a 4. They don't all have a 8. So it looks like our answer in this case is just a 6. Okay, is that what you got? If you did, give yourself a cheer. Woo! Fireworks, whatever it is. Cheese, great, great, great job. And before we leave this slide, I do want to say one thing, and it has to do with this vocabulary word we have on the side here. It's called disjoint set. The disjoint set is like an empty set. That would be like if two circles had nothing in common and they were totally separate. So just keep that in mind. Add that to your notes if you would. Alright, time for a learning check. And while you are trying to go back and look at your notes, make sure you understand union intersection, including how they relate to a Venn diagram, how does a union look in a Venn diagram, how does the intersection look in a Venn diagram, what do the numbers mean. What I want you to do, so go back, just take a second right now, look back at your notes, and while you do that, I'm going to look at this picture and decide whether this person is facing forward or facing sideways. Ooh, that's a tough one. It's weird. The next topic we're going to talk about is called the cross, that's ugly, see, cross products of sets. This one's not too difficult, so I just want to call it to your attention. Generally, you see this on in the course exam, 1 or 2 questions, but most students don't miss it. So the cross products is like if we had to match up, say, the set of x and y, and the sets aren't usually that big. The sets of x and y together, and in this case we want to find the product of x and y. Well, it's kind of like you just take the two numbers, so we have the set of 1 and 2 from x, and I'm going to match them up with the numbers from y. So they're matched up as like an ordered pair. So 1 gets matched up with 3, and then 1 gets matched up with -2. There's those two pairs, and then the second element in the set is 2, and that's going to get matched up with 3. So let me make that an ordered pair, and the 2 is also going to get matched up with -2. So as far as cross products go, and you can close the set, if you had to multiply the set of x times y, you would get this. Not too difficult. Just be aware, not even any problems in the book, but I wanted to make sure you understood. So, now that you've gone through those notes, take a look back at them. Who's awesome? You're awesome from completing this lesson. Good job, guys. Oh, but we're not quite done. I would like you to summarize your notes. I will check them in class. Go back, compare Venn diagrams to intersection and union of sets. See if you can make a connection there. What do you do with word problems where you have, say, a survey where you can pick multiple items? You'll see those problems again and again. And be able to read from a Venn diagram and be able to figure out what numbers are missing based on word problems. So summarize that in 1 or 2 sentences on your notes, and I will check those tomorrow. Have a great night or day. Goodbye.